it's time to print it. This is a piece of sketch paper that will work. Printing paper will also work, and thinner paper works better for hand printing. So I'm going to just rub the back with my hand to get some adhesion so the paper doesn't slide around. And you can see the impression is coming off right there just with hand pressure. So if you want a light gray, you can just use your hand, or you could use a paper towel like this to apply an thin, even layer, or you could use a Baron, which is kind of a flat tool to rub. And that would give you a nice light gray there. But if you take a spoon here, it compresses the forces, it magnifies the force to this small area, so you get lots of pounds per square inch of pressure. So if I'm pushing down with 1 pound, it focuses it to like 30 pounds per square inch. And I'll start kind of at the top. And make sure that if this has been used well before, but make sure it's nice and wiped off so you don't wipe ink onto the back of this. And the thin sketch paper, you can sort of see the image through there. Can you see that? It kind of comes through. Rice papers are good for this. The thin rice papers, you can see the image on both sides. All right. So printing by hand, you can see where I need to do more work and where it's finished. As long as I peel up just part of the image, it will lay right back down where it was. See there? And I can turn it around. Try this side. That thin paper is sticking to the plate. That's good. I don't like it when the paper slides around on there, because that is a bad technique and it makes a blurry print. Even when we're in the studio, we have access to the presses, and we can run this through the press. It prints nicely, but sometimes it doesn't print so nicely. Sometimes the paper kind of stretches or blurs the image on the press, on an etching press, printing these that way. And then this is what we go to, because we know this. All the details print very nicely. It takes longer, but the details print very nicely. Let's see this side. See where I need to work? Over here on this side. Over here. So we just keep doing it until it's done. And you probably want an even image all over, But expressive purposes, you can do part of it gray with a hand print, like this. This would be the hand print just by hand. And then part of it, you could have maybe just the face and the pot and the other areas, some of the details printed thoroughly. So you get a range of solid blacks, white, and nice grays on there. See, there's lots of ways to get grays. If you ever have a plate that doesn't look good, all we have to do is change the color of the ink or change the printing technique, and a bad plate can be a fantastic plate. It can go from worst to first in printmaking. So this little edge needs a little work right there. All right, I'm going to take it off. It's good enough for proof. All right, there's our chef. I would need more ink here and here, but I can see the image, and that's what the proof is for, to see how the image is reading. And I can then say, oh, I want to cut more out of here, or I forgot to cut this out of there. This gives us visual proof, and then we go back and we cut more into the plate. We can't add to the plate once it's reduced, but we can remove more. If there's a little mistake, something gets cut away, we can always paint a little India ink on it later when it gets dry. And remember, these can be colored up with watercolors after they're dry too. And this takes 24 hours to dry, so put it in a safe spot in your house where no one's going to touch it, and it can dry for 24 hours. I missed a little spot right there. So as you're proofing and printing, have the others out so you can make sure to a little reminder of where to cut and print.